Welcome back to JA Economics for Success. Today is our third session called Keeping Your Balance. If you could take a vacation anywhere in the world, where would it be? Take just a second to think about that. How much do you think this trip will cost? And how much will you pay for this amazing trip? When I have done this program in the past, we've had answers from everywhere from $0 because I'm staying with my cousin to $3 million. Apparently they're going to take a spaceship and go to Mars. However, if we're being totally realistic, I'll give you some real numbers. So one of the places that I really like to go, can you take a guess where it might be? Of course, this would be Disney World. So here's some real numbers for you. Let's say we want to fly. I don't like 14-hour car rides. Bet you guys and your parents probably don't either. So if we got a deal on a cheap flight from Owensboro, let's say, on Allegiant Air, that might cost us about $250. Now keep in mind, Allegiant Air is what's known as a discount airfare. So you're going to pay for lots of additional things other than just your seat. You'll pay for snacks, you'll pay for a carry-on bag, you'll pay for check bags. If you want to choose your seat, you'll pay for that. So there's lots of additional fees you might have to pay. But let's say $250. Then you're going to need a hotel, right? Now, there's lots of things that come into play when choosing a hotel. This is Disney All-Star Sports. So let's say you selected this hotel. It's a basic, bare bones type of motel. You're looking at about $150 a night to stay at this place. During Christmas, it could run you as much as $300, but generally about $150 a night. Now let's say you want a little more glamour. You want a nicer hotel. This is Disney's flagship resort called the Grand Floridian. Rooms here, on average, about $750 a night. If you want a view of the Magic Kingdom and the fireworks, you're looking at $950 a night. Rooms actually will go up to about $3,000 a night for a suite. Next thing, food. Let's say you only eat fast food at your Disney trip. You're still looking at about $100 a day. Food at a theme park is not cheap. So all of this to say, this, depending on even if you went the cheapest route, you're looking at about $2,000 to $3,000 for a Disney trip. And that's just for you. Do you want to take your spouse or your kids? They probably want you to. So, going on a trip to Disney or anywhere is not an inexpensive proposition. So how in the world can families or even individuals afford to do this? There's this great thing we're going to look at called budgeting. I'm going to take these off. Y'all think I'm weird enough already, so. A budget. A careful plan for spending and saving within a certain period of time. Now, some people may think that, gosh, if you make a certain amount of money, you don't need to budget, right? That's wrong. Budgets are good for everybody. Whether you are making $10 an hour working in a fast food restaurant, or you're making $10 million as a professional athlete. Have you guys ever seen stories, maybe on ESPN, a 30 for 30 possibly, that talk about athletes that went bankrupt? You think, you made $10 million a year. How can you possibly go bankrupt? It happens more than you think. That's why budgeting is so important. A balanced budget means spending less than you earn. So all of the parts of your budget, what you spend each month, need to equal less than what you make each month, regardless of what that amount is. So if you bring in $100 a month, let's just say, and you want to buy a new truck with a truck payment of $250 a month, that's not going to be a good idea, because you'll actually be losing $150 a month. That's where people get into debt and problems with credit cards, which we'll talk about in a future session. So, a few terms that we need to know. Income is the amount of money earned from wages or other sources. The main source of your income is going to be what you make at your job. Expenses is the amount spent to make purchases and pay bills. These are the things you need and want that you buy. Opportunity cost is our next word. This is the next best alternative that is given up when a choice is made. So let's say that you had been planning to go on vacation. However, suddenly your refrigerator breaks down and you have to buy a new one. You have to have a refrigerator, right, in your house? Most people like to have cold things, cold food. So the money that you were going to spend on your vacation now went to pay for the refrigerator, and that money is no longer available for you to use on vacation. The opportunity cost is that you don't get to spend as much money on vacation because you had to buy a new refrigerator. Now we're going to talk about something called gross income and net income. So gross income is the amount of money that is your income before taxes, before all taxes have been deducted. So if you get a job and they say, okay, you're going to make $50,000 a year. $50,000 is your gross income. However, when you get your paycheck, you will see that your paychecks for the year do not equal $50,000. That's because your net income is what you actually take home and are able to spend. That's your income after all taxes have been deducted. In most cases, when you have a job, taxes are automatically deducted. So you don't have to pay those. They're automatically taken out of your paycheck before you ever get the check. However, if you are self-employed or an independent contractor or some other type of, have some other type of career where taxes are not taken out, you are responsible for saving money so that you can pay those taxes at the end of the year. If you don't, that's when a little group called the IRS comes calling. So, we've got some math problems for you now. I know, it's super exciting. So, here's our first one. See if you can work these with without a calculator. And if you can't, it's fine to use a calculator. 18-year-old Greg works at the local movie theater, earning $8.50 an hour. I think maybe he needs to find a new job. He's not making very good money. If Greg works 40 hours a week, his gross pay for that week equals, take just a minute and see if you can do the math on that. Remember, gross pay is the amount of money before taxes. What answer did you get? The correct answer is $340. So you would take $8.50 times 40, and that would give you $340. All right, here's our next math problem. After taxes and deductions, Greg's net weekly pay is $297.33. You see the difference? His gross pay was $340. However, his net pay, what he can actually take home and spend, is only $297.33. Greg gets paid every other week. His net paycheck for 2 weeks is... Take just a second and see if you can figure that one out. Did you get the right answer? It's $594.66. Basically, to figure this one out, all you have to do is take 297.33 times 2. Greg is getting the same amount of money each week for 2 weeks, and so his total would be $594.66. And our final math problem: if Greg deposits 20% of his net pay in his savings account every month, how long will it take him to buy a first car with a price tag of $3,200? This one's a little more complicated, so I'll give you just a little more time. So the correct answer is it will take almost 14 months. Just over a year and 2 months. So for this one, you will take his net pay, back from our second question, of $297.33. You'll take that times 0.20, which is the 20%, and you will see the answer. You will take that then divided by 3,200, and that will give you a total of 13 point something, which goes up to 14 months. So the correct answer for this one is 14 months, is how long it will take Greg to save that much money. All right. So again, thank you for your participation. Some of those math problems, they were a little hard for me, so I hope you got the right answers on them and were able to understand the difference between gross and net income. Budgeting is important to your financial future. When you create a budget, you must make decisions about how you will pay for the items you want and need. Now, in the next session, we will discuss how to make good decisions using credit. We'll talk about the differences between credit cards and debit cards and why credit is so important even at your age as you get into high school and beyond. So again, thank you for your participation. And now you will complete an activity that goes along with today's lesson. You're going to learn more about budgeting. And you'll actually get to do a fun activity where you look at the price of certain items, cars, housing, restaurants, lots of different things, and choose based on your pretend career income which of certain things you want to pick. Okay? Your teacher will have more information. In the meantime, have a great week. And we will see you next time with session number 4.